Hello, you're watching World Talks on TVP World. My name is Sascha Fahrbach. Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orbán has accused Ukraine of intentionally halting the Druzhba oil pipeline. On Monday, the Prime Minister said he has satellite imagery to support his claims in framing the stoppage as an attack on Hungary's energy security. This is the latest issue as April elections loom in the country, where Orbán's Fidesz party faces an electoral battle against the opponent Péter Magyar, who currently leads in the polls. Now, joining us to discuss the latest developments is István Hegedűs, chairman of the Hungarian European Society. Welcome back to TVP World. Welcome.
Thank you for the invitation.
Let's begin with these claims by Prime Minister Viktor Orbán. These satellite images, first of all, how credible are they? How do we verify them? When will he release them to the public? Let's just start there.
Well, what we have seen, these are two photos from above, probably by satellites, but there was no information what it really shows. From an amateur perspective, you cannot even see whether these are pipelines or not, whether they are ruined or not, and we have no idea about the location of these pipelines. And of course, we don't know if they do work again, who destroyed them before. So the real debate is if there were any attacks, and probably there were, who did that? And nobody says that they weren't the Russians. So all the logic that this is the responsibility of the Ukrainians to ensure supplies to Hungary might be only one side of the story, if at all. So we don't know. There is no evidence that it's working again. Hopefully they will work soon.
Okay. And also, in terms of what this means, with the elections that we said, they're very much around the corner. The Hungarian population looking at this, hearing the Prime Minister speak, how much of an impact will this have on the elections? Is this going to sway people to Orban? Is it going to dissuade them? How does the public perceive all this?
Well, that's the real issue, of course. It's a campaign. And I think Orban and his advisors just use the Ukrainian card as the only way to try to convince those who are still have not decided whom to vote for. This might be a very small part of the population. Most of the people know very well whom they want to support on the 12th of April. So we don't know if there are still people who accept this very easy propaganda that these are the Ukrainians who attack us. And Orban just is saying that we are under attack by Ukrainians. And he ordered military in Hungary to protect Hungarian military equipments and military bases, which has probably no sense at all, only because of propaganda reasons. But your question is very important. We don't know whether there are people who might change their minds or just will turn around a flag by Orban, as it sometimes happens when a country is in danger. I think Hungary is not in a danger, and Péter Magyar, of course, emphasizes that this is just hysteria, this is just propaganda. Ukraine is not going to attack Hungary, and of course the economic situation, the energy situation, will not become so bad as it is proclaimed by Orban if Russian gas is not coming to Hungary.
Mm-hmm. Energy, that's the main crux of all this. Orban has said that this Druzhba, translated into friendship pipeline, this is key for Hungary. We've heard, I remember just some days and weeks ago, the Croatians making a case that actually their alternative supplies, that they could actually have that corridor open for the Hungarians for that need. In terms of the real status of this, how critical is this Druzhba pipeline? How much will that actually impact the cost of living in Hungary? And what about the alternatives?
there is an alternative, or there are more alternatives. The pipelines coming from Croatia, these are only just one way, and there are many other agreements. And of course, there is the pressure coming from the European Commission and the other member states that Hungary should give up this one-sided dependence on Russia for many, many years now. So nothing is new. There is a war in our neighboring country. That was the rhetoric of Orban. So in reality, experts are arguing that gasoline will not go up, the price of the gasoline will not go up so much, even if there is no Russian gas at all and the alternative resources are there. The Hungarian government, however, emphasized in the recent years that there is only one way from Russia, and attacks the opposition that it wants to bring us into a catastrophic situation. Today, the price of the petrol at the petrol station is around 600 or even a little bit less, 600 forints. And Orban argues that it will go up to 1,000 forints if Russian gas is not arriving to Hungary. But all the experts are arguing that this is not true. And actually most of the price includes taxes. So more than half of the price what Hungarians pay at the gasoline stations, this is a tax going to the Hungarian budget. And Magyar, of course, argues that you should decrease the amount of the tax, and then there won't be any catastrophe at all. And the supply chains from other countries is already there.
Mm-hmm. I want to come back to the security element of all this. I mean, we also have heard and seen that Viktor Orbán has been dispatching troops, Hungarian troops, to various energy infrastructure sites, and we've seen this posting this on social media, also along the border. I mean, security is now in the air, whether you like it or not. Then this, he's raised the terrorism level because of what's happened in the Middle East. Given all that, I mean, this kind of, let's say, crisis, if we can call it that, how will that also be perceived by voters? Is this another show? I mean, Péter Magyar suggested, I think, like a joint inspection of Druzhba, but just those troops everywhere. I mean, how does that change things here in this campaign?
It seems to be that the majority of the Hungarian citizens, the Hungarian voters, do not accept this logic anymore, what Orban represents, that we are under attack now for many, many years. 4 years ago, the political climate and context were totally different, where Orban had a strong majority and the war broke out after the aggression of Russia against Ukraine. That was a very special moment. Another 4 years ago, the migration crisis seemed to be still very vivid, and people accepted this smear campaign, raising anxiety everywhere and fear in the country. Now we don't know. Orban has not found out anything new. Whether this new hysteria, using this word once again, whether it will work or not, I don't know. Nobody knows. That's the real question. From Budapest, where I sit, it looks like a total misstep. But I thought that maybe 4 years ago people would not accept this sort of rhetoric anymore, and they did. So we have to be very careful whether the logic of the Orban's propaganda and smear campaign works again or not. Probably not so much as before, and the lead, as you mentioned, the percentage of the advantage of Magyar is high enough that at the moment he is more likely to win the elections, but we still have more than a month ahead.
Yeah, just a final quick question as well. I mean, looking at what's happening in the Middle East, I mean, the uncertainty there with energy particularly, how much does that, I mean, Orban has made that case that he needs those Russian pipelines. How much does that weigh into this? Does that strengthen or weaken Orban's case?
this is very new, of course. It just happened in the last 2-3 days. So there are no polls suggesting that people have changed their minds. But you're right that it's a danger for Magyar. So he has to emphasize that he's ready to travel to Ukraine together with Orban to check the pipelines personally if it's needed. And what happens in the Middle East is still a little bit far away. So Magyar is concentrating on the Russian and Ukrainian crisis, and Orban is doing the same because he's in trouble. He thought that Trump is the man of peace, and now Trump started another new war. You know, it's very complicated to be a Trumpist at the moment for Orban as well.
Right. So April 12th, I believe, our elections are still going to be a very intense campaign. Look, thanks for that update. Really appreciate it, as always. István Hegedűs there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for the invitation once again.
And thank you for watching World Talks. But stay right here on TVP World for more news and commentary. Goodbye.